Hello guys, it's Royalty Cut here and welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is actually a tutorial from the last video that I made on how to cut your monoflare dress. So in this tutorial, I'll be teaching you how to sew your monoflare dress. Please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel and also turn on your notification bell to be notified whenever we post a new video. So after I went ahead to attach the estate to all the pieces, I also went ahead to cut the linings off camera. So I added 2 layers of facing to the front piece, just like you see here. And this is the lining that I had to cut out of the camera. So I'll go ahead and place this lining outside or at a place. So I'm just going to turn this over to the right side, just like you see over here. Now the next thing I'm going to go ahead and do now is to place one side of this upper body, right side facing each other. Now I'm just going to go ahead and use my pin to secure it all the way down to the tip, just like you see me doing over here. So I'll go ahead over to my sewing machine and I'll be using about the half of an inch extra that we added to this piece while cutting it on our fabric. I'll use it to join exactly using the same pattern I had to cut it out. Now for this part, if you can see, placing this like this, you see that it's not equal. So while sewing it to the half of an inch, just make sure you drag this side and not the center. Just make sure you drag it while sewing. Just make sure that it is equal while sewing it with about the half of an inch. And I'll also go ahead to do the same thing for this piece, and opening it up, you are going to see the result. Now for the back piece that we had earlier too, I cut out the lining and I attached one layer of estate to it, just like you see over here. So I'm just going to go ahead and use um a loose stitch to use the 1 inch that we added here to join the zipper allowance all the way down, to just close it up with a loose stitch, because we will still go ahead to reopen it. So that is that for the back piece. Now we are also going to go ahead and do the same joining for the linings. Whatever joining I told you to do for the main piece, just go ahead and do the same thing for the lining. Joining the piece, just like I told you earlier, this is what our front piece is looking like. Now as you can see, it's already giving you a room for where your bust to be sitting perfectly. Now it's not standing that well because we didn't attach a wording to it, but just like I said, if you have a wording, do make sure you attach yours. So for me, once I put it on, even without the wording, you will actually be seeing the curvy part of it. Now I also went ahead to use a loose stitch to join the back piece together. Now I'm just going to go ahead and cover this up. Just go ahead and notch this center that looks straight where you stop. Just notch it. Then if you have your iron, just go ahead and iron yours out. So for me, I'm just going to go ahead and use my iron to iron it open. So basically, after open pressing it, just like I did over here, as you can see, I went ahead to open press it. I'm just going to place this forward, just like you see over here, and I'll go ahead and bring the back piece to it, right side facing each other. Now note that I've not actually attached my lining piece to this, so I'm just going to go ahead and place it this way. Make sure that the front part is actually facing the up part. So just this way, make sure that it is equal. Now the next thing we are going to go ahead and do now is for us to get our slash, just like we talked about earlier. Now remember that it is a mono sleeve flare dress. So for us to be able to achieve that, the next thing I'm going to go ahead and do right now, just watch what I'm doing. From the neck width of this end, I'm going to go ahead and place my ruler the way I want it to be. Just like I said, you can choose to do it with your free hand or you can choose to do it straight. But for me, I think I'll be using my curve ruler for this. So I'm just going to go ahead and draw in this line. Now, after drawing in the line, I just noticed that it was not actually necessary for you to come down with the inches you want it to be, or you can, from this point, with your free hand, just choose how down you want it to be. So this is it for it. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut open this area that I already marked. After opening it up, this is what we have, and we already have our mono sleeve ready. So I'm just going to go ahead and keep this aside the way that I just placed it now. Now I'm going to go ahead and bring forth the lining that we already joined the same way we joined the main fabric. So for the lining piece, I'm just going to go ahead and place it the same way that I did with the main piece. That's right side facing each other, just like you see over here. Just make sure it's the same way that you placed your main fabric. So I'm just going to go ahead and place this main piece that we already have directly on the lining. So I'm just going to use this piece to cut the lining the same way we did for the main piece. So just follow the pattern that you already did to cut out the other one for it. So basically, I went ahead to separate each pieces together. So this front piece we have over here, I'm going to go ahead and use my lining to place it right side facing each other. So the only place we will be sewing for this lining and the main body is we are going to be using half of an inch to join the lining at the neck area here and also by the sides, and we'll be turning it over and ironing it out. So for the back piece, I went ahead to separate it. That was the reason I asked you to use a loose stitch for it. So this is the side that the slitted hand was at. So we are just going to go ahead and do the same thing, right side facing each other. So for this back piece, the only place we'll be turning over is this zipper part of it and also the upper part of it and the sides. So for this complete side, you place it right side facing each other too with the lining. So you go over and turn over the neck area, the zipper allowance part, and also the side part with just half of an inch. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that for all the pieces. So after I went ahead to join the lining piece to our front piece, this is what it's looking like. As you can see, it's all way well laid down. Then this is the back piece. I also went ahead to join it with the lining piece. Now the neck areas are all looking smooth and the edges are clean. Now I also forgot to tell you to also turn your armhole area, because you know it's a sleeveless, so you're not going to attach any sleeve, so there's no need of leaving it rough. Just go ahead and turn it in to make it look neater. Now I'm going to place the front piece aside. Let's work with the back piece. Now for this back piece, I'm going to go ahead and bring the first layer of our skirt, the first layer that we had to cut out earlier. And remember, this is the front piece and this is the back piece. So I'm just going to place the front piece aside too. Now for the back piece, remember we notched our zipper allowance to identify the sides. So I'm going to place it right side facing each other, making sure that the zipper allowance is facing the top. So for this, I'm going to place it this way, and I'm going to use half of an inch to join this side and the first layer of our skirt. And I'll also go ahead and place this one too. This is where the zipper allowance is for the side of this part. So I'm just going to go ahead to and use about half of an inch, making sure that the zipper allowance part is facing it to join the two sides together. So looking closely, I went ahead to attach the back piece, just like I told you earlier, to the first layer of our skirt, and this is what we have. So I'm just going to bring this back piece that I have here, just like you see me do so. I'm going to place it right side facing each other. this way. Now remember that this is the sleeve is out for this one, so just make sure that it's going to be corresponding to the length of the neck area of the one that has a sleeve. So I'm just going to go ahead and insert my matching zipper I told you about. So I'm going to go ahead and insert it from the waist area. I'll be coming down by 4 inches. From this point to this point, I'll be coming down by 4 inches. So that is where our zipper will be stopping from for the back side. Then I'll also use the 1 inch to join it all the way back down to the full length of this first layer of our skirt. So I'm just going to go ahead and attach the zipper. I also went ahead to join the upper body to the first layer of our front skirt, and this is what it is looking like. So I'm just going to go ahead and attach the zipper to the back piece. So after attaching my zipper, this is what I am left with. So this is what yours should be looking like too, after attaching your zipper to both the sides of the back piece. Now I'm going to go ahead and bring forth the front piece that we also joined the first layer to earlier. Place it right side facing each other this way, just like you see me do over here. Just make sure that it is in alliance with each side of your back piece, just like this. So I'm just going to go ahead and join these two shoulders together with 1/2 inch, and also impute my body measurement at the waistline and also at the bust line. So I'll also go ahead and shaping the sides together. So after imputing the body measurement, just like I showed you earlier, I'm just going to go ahead and turn this over to the right side. Okay, after turning it over to the right side, this is what it is looking like. So our dress is almost ready, but not all that ready. So the next thing I'm just going to go ahead and do now is to go ahead and measure around the circumference of this first layer of our skirt. I don't know if you understand. I'm just going to go ahead and measure it all the way around. Measuring it round, I have about 73 inches here, 73 inches in total. So remember that the second layer we cut out, that the length was 88 inches, and I have 73 here. So the remaining inches that I have will not be enough to actually give me a good gathers. It's not actually going to be that full, but at least it should be presentable. So I'm just going to go ahead and add extra 20 inches to the length of this second layer that we cut out earlier. So I'm just going to add extra 20 inches to it. Make sure that the length is the same thing. Then for the width, I'm going to add 10 inches, extra 20 inches, and I'll be joining it. So after joining it, the next thing I'll do is to go ahead and run with my loose stitch on my machine. I'm just going to go ahead and run a gathers at the end, just making sure that the round circumference will be the same thing with this circumference we have here. And I'll go ahead and attach it right side facing each other this way, placing it this way, right side facing each other. And I'll go ahead and also fold the down layer of the second layer. So after attaching the second layer of the skirt to the dress, this is what it is looking like. As you can see, this is the back piece and this is the front piece. So this is the end of our tutorial. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and also turn on your notification bell to be notified whenever we post new content. See you in our next video. Bye.